Hello, hello, Laurel from Minnesota Zone 5. Just thought I'd do one last tour before I start really emptying out my containers here on the patio. Although it will take me a couple weeks to get all of this done between the weather and working full-time, etc. Have a little bit of cold damage. Still haven't gotten a frost, although we're due to get down into the 20s starting the end of this coming week, maybe Thursday night and Friday, and then it's going to be cold after that, so pretty late frost. Normally we get a frost between somewhere October 5th and 10th is about our last average first frost date. So nice, kind of a late year this year. The fall colors are really nice, which I very much appreciate. Some things are definitely done for. We'll walk over here. I just got this cool stool. I went to an antiques fair. Thought that would make a nice little plant stand, and I can use it outside too. It's steel. This begonia just looks absolutely amazing. I'm so impressed with the begonias this year. The coleus not so much. Salvias are always really cold tolerant. And then this is a little Calibrachoa. I think it's pomegranate punch. Excuse me. This lantana is definitely not liked the cold. They are frost tolerant, but it's definitely a little bit damaged. You can see the leaves are kind of purple, and then the blooms that were open kind of got cold damage on them. I'll be pulling out probably today these two Calibrachoa in here. Normally I save the soil. This one had a little bit of a thrip infestation, so I'm not going to save any soil from that, and I will dispose of the plant in the garbage instead of the compost. I do have some perennials here. Some orange geraniums. These echinacea are just gorgeous. The ground stays warm for a long time, so I don't really have to plant perennials immediately, urgently. There's my lovely shadow. I am shocked this potato vine is still looking so nice because they are so cold sensitive. Over here, the bubble hydrangea starting to put on some fall color. This one's ahead of the ones that are in the ground, but it's in a plant can, so they're always a little bit different. Then we've got some mums here. These were a mystery, so now I found out this one is pink. These two look like they're going to be burgundy. They were, maybe orange. They're the orange mums. Kind of a burnt orange. These were ones that I had overwintered, or that survived the winter, rather. I just let nature take its course. But sometimes when they're sheltered, they come back. So potted them up. This ivy, putting on some fall color. This I put on the porch. It is hardy. It's lived on the porch every winter. And these two Plectranthus I will be bringing inside as houseplants. Boy, these leaves, so I'm going to groom this one up. Anyway, a couple of begonias down there as well. Those won't survive. This is the canna. This one, look at how big those seeds are. Those are so cool. Probably try and harvest those, although I don't believe cannas come true to the parent plant. It's grown from seed. And these coleus have sustained a little bit of cold damage, but they won't survive for more than a week. So I'm going to pull these out, even though they're not completely gone yet. Same thing with this begonia kind of back in the corner. Look at that color. Isn't that beautiful? I saved that corm. I've had it for a few years now. That I got from a local garden center. This one I don't know. Maybe I'll put it. It all depends on what I end up having room for indoors. I have the best of intentions, but time and energy just gets away from you sometimes. This Plectranthus, love those colors. This one is guacamole. That is not hardy, and this is in a large container, so I won't be overwintering that. Same thing with this Plectranthus. These actually overwinter well indoors, but that's in a large pot, so I'll just let that one go. A few more perennials down here. I'm thinking about overwintering this geranium. Again, depends on what I have time and energy to do in the end. Looks like this Alternanthera maybe got a little bit of cold damage out here. Overall, still looking good. This Kufia just is wonderful. That's Vermillionaire Kufia. That's the one thing that just looks fresh as a daisy still. And another Lantana kind of poking through. This area over here, not so happy. These are all pretty cold sensitive plants. I think the only ones that aren't real sensitive to the cold are the polka dot plant and then this little fuchsia that I have growing. Fuchsia also can be a house plant, although I don't know if that one will transplant or not. It's in a huge pot, so I can't take it in as is. You can see how leggy these impatiens are. And again, another coleus, a little bit of cold damage. Looks better when it's back here where it's sheltered against the garage from the cold. I don't know if I'll get to that this weekend, maybe not till next weekend. And I'm surprised the elephant ears still look so fresh. So those are tropical. I do dig up the corms and overwinter those in the basement in a cardboard box. Calibrachoa is pretty frost tolerant. End of the summer though, I kind of let it go. But it still looks alright. This one is one of my favorites. That's called Super Bells Over Easy with that bright yellow throat. Really nice vigor on that one. Over on this side, the Caladium. Wah wah. They pretty much don't like anything. Well, ideally it would be above 60 always because they are a tropical plant. But anything under 40, and this is what they do. So I'll be cleaning these out today. Probably these begonias too. I got all on clearance at the end of the season. More impatiens, and then this looks beautiful too. Still, I have to take my spider plant indoors. I did get some clearance plants. I've got Solomon seal, a few hostas. Most of these I should be able to plant before winter. This is just a nice little foliage area. That Tradescantia just did fabulous. I'll have to grow that again next year. I don't think I will. I'm going to overwinter that because it's pretty widely available. I have grown that indoors before, had one for many years, but I don't know. I got enough to take care of already, I think. I had a bunch of Rex begonias that I bought on clearance. Got those potted up, and those are all on the porch or inside. I'm not sure if this one, it has a Rex begonia and a polka dot plant in one pot. I'll see if I have room for that. If not, it's okay. The canna, I'll be digging up the rhizome and storing that. This sweet potato vine is a goner. Definitely got hit more by the cold. But the Skyrocket Pennisetum is gorgeous. I have to do more of these next year. They're so pretty. And just silky soft. This coleus has a little bit of damage on it too, on the leaves from the cold, although I kind of like it. It looks kind of autumnal. That bright green with the brown polka dots. Let's see, I got another hellebore on clearance. This one is Frost Kiss Molly's White. A few things over here. Again, I will attempt to overwinter the Senecio. I do not have high hopes. I failed last year. Another Plectranthus guacamole. You can see in the shade it doesn't get quite as bright a variegation as it does out in the sun. That one's pretty, but this one got to bloom. And then this hyacinth bean vine. Man, it's done well this year. Still keeps putting out blooms and beans. Prince Tut papyrus grass. Will be pulled out soon. It is definitely not frost hardy. This Plectranthus looks like it has a little bit of damage from the cold, but not bad. Same thing with the Newly Noir coleus here. I kind of stopped pruning on that late in the summer. Boy, they have dropped a lot of leaves on the ground. These look beautiful over here. This petunia got leggy because I stopped pruning it as well in September, although it still has some blooms to enjoy. That is the Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo. And this is the Superbena Sparkling Amethyst. That one is an amazing plant. If you can find it, highly recommend. Then I have a Meizu kind of peeking out here too and trailing down below. Meizu is very frost tolerant. This Alternanthera looks fresh as a daisy as well. Beautiful, super tough. So is the Dusty Miller. And the cabbage. That's just a seed-grown ornamental cabbage that I started in the spring. Not too bad. That petunia planter over there, again, I stopped pruning on it. I'll probably just clean that out now because I have to start getting those pots stored, and I'll share that when I do, and how I store my pots. That Dusty Miller over there, I have overwintered for several years now on the porch, so I'll do that again. Same thing with these 3 little pots here on the table. Get those overwintered. Most of this stuff will be cleared out though in the next couple of weeks. I'll probably do that one today. That is the you can see the squirrels have been breaking branches over here. They try to climb up to get to the bird feeders and launch themselves from on my plants. You can see they broke a branch on this hibiscus. I haven't been watering that, so it's super droopy, but there's a little Torrenia planted right below it, but I got to get that cleared out. And I'll do a little walkthrough real quick here. I'll do another update once I replace my raised bed, which I plan to do tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a couple of friends coming over to do that. Gomphrena still looks really cool. You can see this is what it looks like once it's all bloomed out and the seeds are all dispersed. Kind of cool how it grows like that when it goes to seed. This is the monster cabbage that just keeps growing, keeps sprouting little baby cabbages. It's all in one plant. Licorice vine here, this silver licorice vine is also really frost hardy. That'll take a hard freeze before it's killed. Back in black sedum, my little meditating lion there. Alyssum, also very, very frost hardy. That self-seeds itself. This coleus, that just kind of popped in there. That looks like it's gotten some cold damage. Excuse me, I kind of have the hiccups. We've got the Tiny Wine 9 bark. Got Creeping Jenny down below. I always keep that like the ends here. I'll pull that out from in those plants so they don't root in too deeply. Yeah, this lamb's ear, man, that stuff grows fast. What a nice ground cover though. I have 2 ladies' mantle. I'll probably end up moving those next year because the lamb's ear is kind of taking over. And then those are some coleus. Not a big fan of those. That was the Wicked Hot variety. I didn't like it as much as Sedona Sunset. I think Sedona Sunset's a lot tougher. They do have a St. John's wort shrub over there that has also collapsed onto. Of course, the beautiful Garden Glow dogwood. Looking stunning. It's bright leaves. Still not too much fall color on that one, though. I'm kind of surprised. And then the hostas, that one back there is called Vulcan. That's turning its pretty fall gold color. Not too much action on these other ones, though. This one's my favorite, Autumn Frost hosta. A little bit of leaf color turning on the honeysuckle, Kinsley's Ghost honeysuckle. Walk around here. Again, the dichondra looking beautiful, draping down like that. And the side yard plantings. This salvia is actually putting out some blooms. I don't know if we'll actually see any color. I think they open red, if I remember right. Usually in our climate, we don't have a long enough season to enjoy the blooms. And you can see they're blooming super late. I planted this in a pot in the spring or early summer. But since we had a late frost, maybe, just maybe, one of them will open. Again, this container, the caladiums that were in here, this one didn't even get a chance to open before it kind of froze shut. Bobo hydrangeas, I'll be transplanting at least that one and moving it out. These are the double up red begonias, and man, with the chilly temperatures, they've gotten such a pretty color on their leaves. That dark green with bronze. The feral cat definitely had her kittens. She was out here. I fed her a scoop of kitten food for the nutrients. I think she's probably off hunting now. I did plant another, what's that called? Jacob's ladder plant. So I have a little trio back here now in my collection. These begonias back here are pretty sheltered by this red-berried elderberry. So they might last a little while yet. I planted a Brunnera in here, variegated Brunnera. Down there next to this gem, there's some Solomon's seal. That is a Rainbow's End hosta. Back there I have a clematis growing up this trellis as well. It's only in its second year, so hopefully next year it kind of takes off. This is the Cafe au Lait petunia, and with the cold they've kind of gotten more purple instead of white on the flowers, which is kind of neat. Shade garden over here. No changes there, still looking good. I did expand this garden bed a little bit more. Started placing some of the perennials that I've gotten on clearance. I'll mess around with it a little bit more. Get those placed and planted in the next few weeks. Still some color on the rose. I see one fresh bud down there as well. Oh, right there, about to open up. Those coleus are definitely showing a little bit of signs of damage. Well, the canna still looks really good, but that's pretty sheltered right up against the garage. More color on this side of the viburnum. Those are really beautiful. Those are, what are they called? Bailey's Compact American Cranberry Bush Viburnum. And I bought them, they were on clearance, so a score, because they were like $6 a piece. But also the tag got me. It said it has beautiful fall color, which I am a sucker for, aren't we all? Those caladium are definitely goners. I did manage to plant another forever purple heuchera in there, this little one in front. This area is tough because there are so many roots from the spruce tree over here. So it's like everywhere I dig, that's why things are placed a little bit funny sometimes. Sometimes I can't plant where I want to because there's a root right there, a big one, root right there. More color on the Virginia as well. This area looks really pretty with all this color. And I'm excited when these three plants get a little bit bigger. Those I just planted this year. Again, toying around, you can see I have some perennials set out. This is my favorite Rudbeckia, the one that got disease over behind the house for me this year. I'm hoping I scored one on clearance. Hoping this one does okay, but I think I might dig up some of this Ajuga and plant it in there. I love Rudbeckia. I scored a Boom Chocolata hardy geranium as well, and I know those get huge, so I think it's going to kind of fill in this space. We'll see if I end up putting it there. It's a little lime hydrangea in the back there. And this beautiful, beautiful late bloomer. Took all summer to grow 8 feet tall and then just opened up its blooms a few weeks ago. Look at how pretty they are, though. They're so cute. Worth the wait. I just wish I got to enjoy them for longer. That's a Cosmos. I don't remember the variety. I'd have to look at my seed packets again. I'll have to dig up these dahlias. I have a number of dahlias. Oh, look, there's still a bumble hanging out there. They love these open-faced dahlias. It's hard to deadhead sometimes because they'll stay on the spent blooms. I cut back some of the more weathered Cosmos back here. I won't bother digging those out until the spring, though. They're too rooted in, and in the spring the roots will be more decayed. A lot easier to pull up. Beautiful dahlias over here. This one is called Fairway Spur. It's a dinner plate dahlia. Hopefully you can see that. I can't see much because the sun's right in my face. It's also Fairway Spur back there against the window. This one, I think it's Cafe au Lait. That is what it was labeled. I didn't get a single, one of the big dinner plate size flowers. They were all about this size. Absolutely stunning, though. I will try and save this tuber because the color was gorgeous. And I like the smaller blooms because I could really work them into things. The yellow ball dahlias, those are called Golden Scepter. And I have a number of kind of random zinnias back there. Aster still looking pretty. Like to see that late fall color. Same thing with the Gomphrena. These are just tough as nails plants. And the zinnias, of course. This bed is the one that I will be replacing this year. I bought 2 beds to replace both. And I want to do one in the fall so that I can plant my garlic. And then probably do the other. It'd be nice to get it in the fall, but if not, I'm fine doing it in the spring. Plus, I have some carrots and some zucchini coming up in here, so I don't want to do it this weekend, but we'll see. I'm not sure. They're going to be bigger. About the same width, maybe about 2.5 feet deeper. So I'll have some more space. Yeah, vegetable garden is kind of winding down here. Firelight hydrangeas still look gorgeous. Those are absolutely stunning. These are Bidens, Goldilocks Rocks Bidens. They're great in containers, but I also like them in the ground. Those are 3 plants that I planted kind of late summer once they went on clearance. And they just make this cool little ferny ground cover look with these bright yellow blooms. This is also an annual. I forget the name of it completely. But again, I buy things on clearance. Can't help myself. Brunnera looks beautiful. These hydrangeas are starting to turn a little brown from the cold. I might cut some of these brighter blooms and take them inside to enjoy. This area, I made some changes last weekend. I had some coleus planted, but they had gotten frost damage, so I pulled those out. That's just the stump of one of them right there. And then I had 3 astilbe there that just looked ratty because with drought, they just drop their leaves, look like crap. So I got sick of looking at those all summer. I did transplant. That is called Designer Jeans Hosta. It was planted over there, but it was getting sunburned, so I moved it over here where we'll get more shade. This is a crested surf fern that I got on, all of these were on clearance. Another, I think that one's called Stairway to Heaven, Jacob's Ladder. I love the variegation on that. A hellebore, I believe that one blooms deep pink. And then another Brunnera, that one's called Looking Glass. Although it looks very similar to the Alexandra, but I think Alexandra doesn't have as dark of veins. That one looks like it has some deeper green veins on it. Unlike, and then I have another type of Brennera over here, another autumn frost hosta, little lime hydrangea. And then over here where I had the hosta I planted, I had 2 of these heucherella and 1 more over there. Those are called Plum Cascade. And so I got this 3rd one on clearance. This is what it does. It's like a trailing heucherella. It sends out these tendrils. So I got 1 more of those, and then this sickly looking, it's just because it was in its plant pot all summer, but that's a lungwort. These are really tough too. I'm not worried about that one coming back. So, changes over here. We've got, that is one of the All That Glitters or All That Glows viburnum. I do not remember which is which. But I have one there, and then the pollinator version just actually right behind. You can't see it. It's right behind that hydrangea. These are the Surefire Red begonias I planted late in the season. I am definitely looking for Surefire begonias next year. I planted some of the pink ones up front and have been so impressed with them. This is the Sun King Aurelia, one of my favorite plants. Just beautiful, and look at these cute little blooms. Oh, and they're starting to put out little seeds now too. Cute. That plant is so, you'd think it would need, it looks to me like a plant that would need good moisture, but this thing has just been through the last few years of drought and has not skipped a beat. I would like to plant more if I can find a shade or part shade spot for it. I did plant one kind of way at the other end, down by the spruce down there. Man, those are nice plants. This willow, on the other hand, does like a lot of moisture and clearly has not done well with drought. I think in the spring, these you can cut back pretty hard. I'm going to really cut this back and I'll try to keep it more watered. It's just hard though, you know? Hard to pay all that money for water. When you pay for every drop to the city, it's very expensive. So I'd almost rather if next year or 2 it doesn't bounce back, or we just keep having these droughts and it doesn't like this spot, I'll probably pull it out and replace it with something a little more drought tolerant. Because I'd rather find the right plant for that spot than try and adapt to the environment to suit the plant. Sage. This is Bergarten sage. Bergarten sage? Yeah. Love it. Such a fall. I love cooking this in the fall too. It's like I don't want it all summer, but it's such a fall flavor to me. And rosemary. I know these are hardy in a lot of zones. They are not hardy in zone 4. So I will harvest these, but this freezes well and this dries. Clearly my poor cucumbers have not liked the cold. I have a few left. I grow the smaller cucumbers because I like making pickles, mini pickles. So I have a few back there. So I can cut those, make one last jar of pickles. And then the squash too is ready to go. This one's not quite ripe, but I have the ripe honey nut. I did harvest a few of them. The squirrel has eaten one. Yeah, and this is dill that just has seeded itself. It's so pretty though. It smells so fresh. I have strawberries that have run wild. I dug up a whole lot of those to make room for the garden bed. But they spread so easily that I'll have as many as I need. I think it's time to cut back this basil. That definitely not very useful anymore in terms of eating because there's no leaves on it. This is tarragon, French tarragon. That actually is hardy here, so it survives in the pot. I usually put it in the garage just so the pot doesn't burst. And this is another Alternanthera. This is Purple Prince, looking beautiful. Another extremely low maintenance plant, very drought tolerant, heat, sun, shade, whatever you give it. It's deeper purple in the sun, more greenish purple in the shade. And my ginger, I'll probably harvest that next weekend. Oh, and the sunflower, of course. One plant. This thing, it has kind of tipped forward from where I planted it. Back there. That is the Suncredible sunflower from Proven Winners, and it has just bloomed and bloomed and bloomed since the beginning of the summer. That, you look at some of those plants and you think, God, that's expensive. But, I think I found it for $11 at Home Depot, and $11 for an entire summer of that, and one plant filling up that much space. I think that's worth the money, in my opinion. So I'll have to harvest my beans today so that we can start digging out that bed tomorrow. Same thing with the carrots. Yeah, anyway. Quick garden tour. This cabbage. I love ornamental cabbage in the fall. Look at that pink in the middle. Such a nice texture, especially next to the color of the sedum too, with that blue-green and the red. Just trying to enjoy before it's all gone. Because we know it's going to be months and months before we get to enjoy it again. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.